My wake-up call.
Am I audible? Am I audible at the back?
Yes.
Destructive criticism is a great, if you know where to focus. Raise your hand if you have ever been distractively criticized. When you get criticized, where did you focus? How did you feel watching the person who criticized you, hanging all your weaknesses like a clothes in the wash line? What did you do? Contest chairs, follow friends, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
For years I was suffering from distractive criticism until I learned a lesson that the most valuable lesson that transformed all my painful feeling into a gainful healing. 17 years ago, I was in my 10th grade classroom. The examination results were going to be announced. There was a lot of anxiety in the air, excitement, eagerness, anticipation. But for me, if you were there, you would have seen me holding a papers, looking like a stunned monkey, holding his mobile bill, and hear me say, "What? How? Who? They must have printed the wrong name. First class honor? Me? How?" For the first time in my life, I get an honor. I just could not believe it. Nor could my fellow student Zeki, who was an excellent student, according to him. He rushed at me with an angry face, streaming coming out of his ears like a boiling kettle, and he said, "Muhammad, you don't deserve it. I should be the first class honor, not you." What would you do if someone said this to you? I left Zeki, but Zeki did not leave me alone. In a public or in a private, Zeki would criticize me, whether I sat or stood, whether I walked or stopped, whether I spoke or... Zeki would criticize me. Do you know what's the only thing he did not criticize? My car. Because I don't have one. I turned a deaf ear to his destructive criticism, and it worked for a while. But one particular morning, and I remember that day just as vividly as I can see you now, Zeki was at me. Your English pronunciation is terrible. Your grammar is horrible. Your spelling is miserable. Ladies and gentlemen, even though what he said was right, but I lost it. I exploded like an interrupted volcano. I flew out of my chair, clenching my fist, targeting his nose, ready to strike. But at the last moment, I refrained from striking him, and I ran away. While I was running away, my eyes glimpsed Mr. Abbas, our economic teachers, who saw my distress and came over to me. And after I told him about my dilemma, he said something that I will never forget. Criticism highlight weaknesses, whether it's come from a friend or an enemy. Focus on the fact, not on your feeling. So when you get criticized, did you focus on the fact or on the feeling? And I returned to the class with a smiling face that no longer sought for feeling but for fact. And in my 11th grade, I focused on my English weaknesses. And I worked with the tutors in my spelling, grammar, and pronunciation, and I improved. The result was first honor, not only for English, but it was for all the second-year classes. I just could not believe it. Nor could my fellow student Zeki, who came to me. Why are you smiling? Your average does not qualify you to any local university. University? University? That is something I have never thought of. Do you know that old saying, in every negative situation there is something positive? Believe it or not, Zeki was my real wake-up call in my life. And in my final years, I focused in the fact, not in the feeling. And I concentrated in my studying. But the result was not even close to what I expect. It's exceeded it. I was given an award from His Royal Highness, Prince Mohammed bin Fahd, for being the first student in the Eastern Province, and I secured my seat in the university. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no doubt that you have been criticized at some point in your life. Maybe your parents were critical on you because they want you to do well. But you did not realize that their word devastated you. Maybe a co-worker made you feel that you are not good enough to do a job. Maybe your boss criticized what you thought your best work. At that time, where did you focus? In the feeling or in the fact? The fact that helped me improve my English weaknesses. The fact that rose my school average. The fact that crowned me an award of excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, destructive criticism is a great if you focus on the fact, not on your feeling. Mr. Contest Chair.